Hey, I wanted to talk about understanding bottlenecks in your job search. So, what are bottlenecks? Bottlenecks are issues that you may or may not see, and these things are very easily fixable if you know they exist. So, what bottlenecks do you face in your job search? Well, there's quite a few. But if you're applying and you feel that things aren't going quite well, for example, when I speak to job seekers and things aren't going well, I ask them a question on a scale of 1 to 10. How good is your job search? How are things going? And more often than not, I hear the answer 5, 6. Very rarely do you hear anyone say 7, even rarer to get 8 or 9, and definitely not 10. So, why are people saying 5 out of 10? What's the reason? Well, because they're not confident in their job search. They might apply, nothing happens. Then they think, well, I'm not good enough. And that's not the case. Trust me. The job market is messed up. If you've followed my content, you know I talk a lot about that. So, how do we assess whether or not we're having a good job search, and why is 5 the most common number? Well, there's quite a few bottlenecks. Bottleneck number 1, your resume. Your resume from your own personal viewpoint might not be good, but it might be a really good resume. You might have professionally made it. You might have used ChatGPT. You might have really spent a lot of time handwriting it yourself and knowing you've got a good one. Or you're just using ChatGPT, copying a job spec, adding it into your resume, and then it feels like the finished document. But the resume itself doesn't actually carry that much weight if you're only using it to apply. So that's your first bottleneck, where you use the resume. Do people actually see it? If you make an application, you're up against 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, hell, 100,000 applications in some cases. And you need to be able to fix how you actually get your resume seen. Bottleneck number 2, your cover letter. Do you use one? If so, is it an editable template? Is it genuinely focused on an industry? Are you focusing on company culture, soft skills? Is that actually a genuine document that you've created, or have you also used ChatGPT? Perhaps you're using something of a template for every single company. There's no right or wrong answer to a degree. There are fixes and changes and specific protocols that you need to follow, sure, but there is a better way to do this. Bottleneck number 3, LinkedIn. Is your LinkedIn profile actually any good? Do you have a good headline? Do you have a bio? Do you have the right strategy when it comes to actually getting eyeballs on your LinkedIn profile? Bottleneck number 4, the strategy used to actually use the LinkedIn profile to connect to people. So types of people that you associate your digital profile with. If that is genuinely targeted and you have genuinely done your homework and you are focused on what I like to call an ideal employer profile, that bottleneck starts to alleviate itself and becomes a strategy of outreach. Bottleneck number 5, meetings. When you have these people and you've got a good LinkedIn profile and your resume is on point, these people that you're talking to, are they turning into meetings? These are called informational interviews. Informational interviews are your gateway to having a genuine conversation with someone who can actually look at your profile to then assess whether or not you're going to be a good fit. Imagine asking them for a referral, a recommendation, something that actually gets you through the door. Bottleneck number 6, if they say yes and you have an interview, are you prepared for your interview? You need to assess all of these bottlenecks to know that if you do get an opportunity all the way back to the interview, that you actually take advantage of the opportunity you've given. All the way forward to the front of the bottlenecks, whether or not your resume and your strategy and number of applications you're making is actually making sense. Now, this is just 6 bottlenecks that I've identified in this video. There's probably a lot more when it comes to minute details, soft skills, company culture, how you're positioning your profile, what makes you a unique selling point. There's so many different things to think about. So your bottlenecks, your job search, the problems and the solutions are actually closer than you think, and they're easier than you think to actually fix. If you like my content, like, subscribe, follow, message me in the comments. In the description, I've left my LinkedIn. Reach out to me. More than happy to help. More than happy to hear your story and recommend something to help you in your job search. I'll see you in the next one.